I want to preface this by saying every time I make one of these videos, there's always like at least one comment that's just like, "Oh, you'll move on from it eventually. You'll grow. You'll know how to deal with this stuff. It won't matter as much later on." And I get that, but that never makes it easy in the moment. It's just like, oh, you're giving me like, it's probably true, but then that just means you're just giving me a fact, not advice. So like I appreciate it really, but like I don't know how it's gonna help. But I feel like I don't know. Middle school was weird. I only enjoyed it through like small joys, and that was what made me think like, hey, it was an okay time. It was not too bad, but it really wasn't that good. It was where I started realizing how my parents were, that they're not the best, you know. Father a bit iffy, my mother fairly not good. You know, it's where I discovered my mother's anger for the most part, and overall the friends I had there, like I was for some reason very introverted through um middle school. I'm not anymore, but I was a lot back then. It's weird. uh so like I was very shy. I didn't like to be loud or make the jokes a lot, but I still ended up making like a very big friend group. But the thing is, it was like I realize now I didn't have much in common with these guys. Really, the entire thing was I got sat next to, like, one guy had his seat moved next to mine in a class for being in trouble. And he was a funny guy, so I kept talking to him. And then that was it. We never found if there was anything in common. There was no reason to really be like, hey, we should be friends. Nah, it just kind of happened with very little reason. So I became friends with him, met some of his friends, and then had the whole giant friend group of like 30 relationships with them. 30 something. 32. I counted. Um, yeah, it was all those people, and like a lot of what I was going through, a lot of them hadn't been. I don't know what any of their home lives are like, or their relationships with their parents are like, because they don't talk about that stuff. They don't talk about this stuff. That's the whole thing. Like, I didn't get, like the main one, the main friend group within this whole intersecting thing that was in through seventh grade. Um, I guess I was just starting to finally realize, you know, video games are kind of pointless, aren't they? Because like I don't play video games anymore. I don't like them. I I find them a bit boring, honestly. The, like they feel pointless. That's the whole thing. I was starting to feel that way through seventh grade, but they all loved video games. So like, those are all the people I was dealing with then. And then through eighth grade, it was a bit weird. I remember so it's that like, sorry, my friend just asking for my school schedule, which God knows I need it. I'll tell you why later in the story. So my main friend through eighth grade, not my main one, just one of them. Like not my best friend, but still one of the main ones. Is this guy right here. I'm not sure if any of you know him. He's starting to become a bit of a big guy. We've got Suds right here. It's that like he tries to be very funny and make jokes in the situation. He could be serious about some things, but he's often trying to just make jokes a lot, and it was actually very hard to take him seriously, or to even talk about serious things with someone else when he's in proximity. And so I didn't get along with him either. It's just a lot of people I couldn't get along with because I didn't have much similarity, is what I realized. Like, I have a good amount of them, of course, but not that much, not the majority. Like, 9 small things you don't have in common versus like 3 big things you have in common. That's how I'll describe it. They seem similar, but it really doesn't help. And now there's the friend group I'm in right now. Here in high school, the people I met the last year through 9th grade, because school's about to start again. Um, they've known each other all throughout middle school, since like 6th grade, or at least some of the friend group was intact through 6th grade. Some of it might have started in 7th grade. I don't know. They know each other longer. They've known each other for so long, they've been well with each other so long. They have a lot more in common with each other. And I have a lot in common with these guys. I like being with these guys. I'm glad this is the friend group I'm in now, but I always feel like I'm just behind, out of the loop, because they know each other far more and I haven't. And everything I'm knowing now and becoming now is because of the people I hang out with now, such as them. Like, I'm just gonna say, it's probably not an environmental thing. People always act like it's you learn about these things that'll happen. I don't think it's true. What I'm talking about is like, I was kind of going through like gender dysphoria in 6th grade. I didn't like that I was a guy. Really didn't like it. I wanted it to like change. I didn't have any way to do that. I didn't want to be seen that way. But I didn't have any queer friends. Like, through middle school, I knew like I could count them on one hand probably. Ignore that I put a finger down. Like 4 people I knew. Like, there was a trans person, another trans person, a bi person, but, and what was the other one? What was the other one? It was a gay person, yeah. I already forgot all that I counted. Still, I'm saying, there's not a lot of them. It's mostly like cis straight people. In fact, since I just talked about, his bio says bisexual. It didn't used to say that. He didn't used to be like that. I guess he didn't figure that out through 8th grade. So I was pretty much stuck with the straight version of him. It was all straight people. I didn't have anyone to talk to about this stuff. Through 6th grade, gender questioning. Through 7th grade, bi-curious. There was no one for me to talk to about this stuff. What am I? Who do I go to when none of them have gone through that before? So I kind of just shoved that and didn't think about it. Called myself cis and straight through the entirety of middle school until this year, realizing I've got people who understand this stuff. I'm allowed to say this stuff and go through it, maybe even ask them about this stuff. I can finally do that. Because they've all gone through that experience. They've gone through this friend group has gone through it all together through middle school. They started figuring this stuff out through like 7th grade. Genuinely. See, like they've known each other longer. I met each of them gradually throughout the school year. Like what happened was like I should I say names? I'm not gonna say names. I'm gonna do like a I'll do like Alice in Wonderland. We've got Crab right here. I met that one first during dismissal because apparently one of my middle school friends, who I have very little in common with, I just talk to because he's fun to mess around with, fun to mess with him. He's kind of funny. That's about it. He's a weird conversationalist. He had a homeroom with this person. So yeah, got Crab right there. And then gradually kept seeing Crab more and more at dismissal. Met Eaglet. This is the only picture. Met Eaglet. Fun stuff, fun stuff. Good friend group, good friend group. Then I joined astronomy, found Eaglet was there, and through Eaglet. No, I have more pictures. Where's a good image of this guy? Is this really the only... Met Mouse. And then that's how that whole thing formed. And then, I don't remember the other names. So let's make this one up. Then there was like Gingerbread Man. I'm literally introducing you to the entire friend group with fake names. So, that one I met through like theater games. Found out they were friends with a Crab. So it's like, yeah, sure. I don't know. So like pretty much became friends with all of them like gradually, fairly naturally. But like they all knew each other already. I met them all just on my own. So like I've got a lot of jokes with all of them individually, but still. But it's like whenever we're having like a conversation, it's always like I'm the one that's leads the, because like you can't all be in the conversation equally, because it's always like you take turns talking. So obviously, it's about how many times you get your turn shows like how much in the conversation you get to actually be. But obviously, a conversation is a two-way thing, so there's gonna be two people tied for first place always. Whenever we're in a group, I'm always at the bottom. That's what I feel like, because they have more to talk about with each other. I've got less experience with any of them. It's hard to do that. So when there's like three of us, there's a clear duo. If there's the four of us, there's a clear trio. I'm often never in the little group. I always just feel like very out of the loop when that happens. I feel like some people are gonna misinterpret that like, oh, they're not including you as fake friends. They don't do it on purpose. Don't say they're like bad people. They're not. It's like, this sounds stupid. That's what I think. This whole thing sounds stupid for me to talk about and cry about this. But like, I had nowhere else to talk about this. How I feel like I'm out of the loop. Because who do you talk to about this? These are the people I talk to about mainly. Who am I gonna tell? I can't tell them about this. I cannot tell like my friend who I've talked about like mental health and self-harm to, and just suddenly be like, I feel like you guys are better friends than me. Like the message directly after showing how I got myself. So I don't know. And at first, it was like first semester during lunch, I only had lunch with Crab They're the only one that was in my same lunch block because we have four lunch blocks depending on what your third block class is. So we had D lunch, which takes the longest. We we were both there, and I spoke to this person a lot, and through that spoke with a lot of other people too at like the table. We met a lot of good people, theater people, art people, etc. Things like that. And then second semester, when I've like finally known all of these people, we all had sea lunch. So it was like our whole group shows up at lunch with each other. Guess what's gonna happen when the next year shows up? First semester, they all have C lunch. I have B lunch. I don't. They're just all with each other again, and I'm just completely gone. I just don't like being left out, I guess. It's just like I was kind of rigged where, like, it's always like, I can't wish to have friends that better like what they have. You can't get that without the experience, and I'm not gonna be able to get more experience with other people than with these people if I do it suddenly. But the middle school people, but still, we still talk a lot every now and then, but like, the same stuff is happening. Any sort of like good conversation we can have is about the past, things we went through together that were just funny. Whenever it's serious, it's stuff that we don't often have similar to each other. That's our serious talks. We don't know what it's like for the other one because we got nothing in common. This video is too long for me to just say I am not doing good with my friends. I forgot. I did think of some points I was going to talk about. Just a general thing about schedules, honestly. Something really weird happened where, like, so pretty much my middle school divided some classes between the normal classes and just a single advanced class. There was only advanced ELA and advanced math. That's all they had. I was in advanced math every time. Every year. And so, like, when it comes to 8th grade, I guess that stuff is math 1 for high school. People go through that in, like, every middle school around here. So, like, if you're in math 1 instead of normal middle school 8th grade math, then you get to go to math 2 for 9th grade because you've already done math 1. Who cares? You know what they did for my middle school? Not a single person from my middle school got into math 2. They all got put into either math 1 or math 1 honors. It didn't matter to the schedule. They tried to put me into math 1. They didn't want me in math 1 honors at all. They did not want me there. They kept searching for normal math classes to put me in. But the thing is, they only have it for first block, and that's exactly when drama 3 is, which I literally auditioned for. You can't take that away. So it was so hard to do that. So, like, for the first day of school, my schedule was completely messed up because I kept discussing it with my counselor over the summer. And so I was stuck with math for first block, no second block. I didn't have one. They never added one. And then, like, whatever the last two things were, I don't remember. And, so I had to keep discussing before it was the first day of school. I went to that math class instead of theater, and hated that so much. And since I didn't have anything for second block, that was when my counselor decided it would be a good time for me to go to them and discuss this in person and see what's happening. And we found that there's apparently an honors math class that isn't for first block. Why didn't we go with that? And in there, I find like a good amount of people from my 8th grade math class. No one from my class got put into math 2, but guess what? 3 of my friends in the group I'm in right now were in the Math 2 class right next to our class. Why couldn't I have been in there? I've done this stuff already. I should be in there. And I'm in such a horrible spot because I should be going into Math 3, but I can't because now I'd be missing Math 2. So I can't do this stuff. And I don't have the same math class as any of my friends. I don't have the same classes as any of them except for theater. It's terrible. See, obviously, I have friends outside of this. I hope to find them. I don't have ways to contact a lot of them. I hope to find them in some of my classes in this weird schedule, but like, oh shit. I got one of the weird Spanish teachers. Just realized that. Is that a Polish name? I just realized, are they Polish? Whatever. So I'm probably gonna take Latin for junior year. I've been planning that for a while. Also, I found out, I don't think language classes are required in our county anymore. I think they stopped doing that a while ago. But they did require you take an Adobe class, either Adobe video editing or Adobe image editing. So far, a lot of my friends in this friend group have chosen video editing for this year. I don't want to do that stuff, so I'm kind of just like, I was thinking image editing because I do image stuff already. I don't really do videos with editing all that much. There's not really much point to that. I guess it's not a bad idea, but I was thinking image editing. But I was thinking, why image editing? I don't know. I didn't want to do this stuff. I draw. I don't edit images. I'm not good with that stuff. I do it sometimes, but it's like very difficult because I have to use. Because like I use Flip-a-Clip to draw, and I use Ibis Paint to edit those drawings, and sometimes just to edit actual images. That's what I use for that stuff. That's what I use that stuff for. So like, I'll show an really old picture out. Actually, turn my friends into aliens through Ibis Paint. That's what I use this stuff for. I don't use it for good things. Well, not just color stuff, but still, you get the idea. I don't do impressive stuff on there, to say the least. Anyways, I got rehearsals later today. I want to see how that goes.
Sure. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Credit.